Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a very fine line between a shopping addicted makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. Now, I really enjoy eyeshadow singles, duochromes, multichromes, blush, highlight, lip gloss, basically everything except pressed glitter. And today we're going to be doing a collection and declutter video for my pink toned palettes. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me. We're getting into it right now. Okay. And pink toned eyeshadow palettes, I think, are one of my favorite color categories for eyeshadow. So I have a lot and I have a really hard time giving them up. So we'll see if I can make any progress here today. But we'll start with some of this little stuff here in the front. This is the A.O. Coralie palette. This is half of her Beauty Bay, like her second Beauty Bay collab. If you saw my green and blue palette collection, you should have seen the other half of this one, and I like both of these. I think they're really nice quality. Beauty Bay has great mattes and metallic formulas, so I'm definitely keeping this one. This is the Jaclyn Hill Strawberry Feels palette, and I picked this up, I think, where did I find this? Oh, Morphe, right before they announced they were bankrupt, had a 50% off sale plus like a 30% off sale, so I got this for like $3. But it's a fine palette. I have used it a couple times. I wasn't like over the moon about it. I may hang on to it for a little while and see if I get any more use out of it, but it's definitely like, if you didn't get this or you feel like you missed out on something, you really didn't. ColourPop Pretty Please. I like this palette a lot. It's definitely very soft, very cool toned. These three are all Super Shock shadows, which I really like because I think that's an awesome formula for them. And then you have the mattes with sparkles, which I personally don't care about. I'd rather have that than a pressed glitter, some metallics, and some just straight up mattes. Overall, I think this is great. I love this like packaging vibe, so I'll be keeping that one too. Unearthly Cosmetics, this sleepover palette. This was their Valentine's Day launch from 2 years ago, I think. And this one has a really great formula. I love the color story in here. This really dark metallic purple is quite nice. The only shade I don't get a lot of use of is this one. And I said that in my review as well, because this shade is just so light, it like blends away to nothing. But everything else in here is great. Okay. Camera battery cut out on me, of course. So this is the Pat McGrath and Bridgerton palette, and it looks like this. It has one special shade in it. I love Bridgerton. I love this collaboration. The palette is definitely kind of a generic color story, but I do think it's really pretty, and I like the packaging and everything, so I'm going to keep that. Gross, fuzzy. This is the Douce by Juvia's Place, and it looks like this. Definitely going to hang on to this one. They don't make this palette anymore, so I'm really glad I got to pick it up before they kind of got rid of all their like old color stories, because now they're doing these like enormous mega palettes. I just don't know if I love it as much. This one is a really pretty like soft iridescent kind of quality to it. This one's kind of this like murky silver gray color that I really like, and then these two make great transition colors for me. So overall, definitely I like this one, and I'll keep it. These we can get out of the way because there's probably nothing coming out of this collection here. Nothing declutterable. This is Natasha Denona Love palette, which my husband got for me, so definitely going to hang on to that one. And then the Retro palette, which looks like this. This one I picked up for myself during the last Sephora VIB sale. It went for sale the very last day of the sale. I love this shade Flutter right here. It is so, so pretty. The neutral like mattes in here are kind of like so-so for me. I wish they went a little bit more like olivey rather than like minty with the greens, but it's okay. Overall, I still think it's a really pretty palette. The Natasha Denona Retro palette is probably my favorite Natasha Denona palette of all of the ones that I own, and this shade is probably my favorite within this particular palette. Definitely keeping that. Then I have a couple Huda Beauty palettes. I have the Mercury Retrograde, of course, gorgeous palette. Love the different finishes that she has in that one. And then Rose Quartz, which again is a pretty cool color story. The only thing I don't like is the Petri Dish shade, but I just kind of ignore it. I did swatch it the first time I got the palette just to see what it was like, and I hated it. All right, we'll get this one out of the way before I accidentally touch it. This is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2. Look how nice and shiny I got it. Ugh. And it looks like this. It's definitely got this really nice, smooth, kind of like buttery formula, which I really appreciate. I don't care for these two shades too much, and I do like the mattes that are in here. They're nice and blendable, so I will keep this one. She's in Parties by Milk Cosmetics. This is one of the like deeper, murkier, kind of grungier palettes, and I really like this one. This Mean Streak shade is gorgeous. Like smoking that out looks awesome. So I'm definitely gonna keep this one. The only kind of like miss for me in this palette is this Skeleton Kiss shade, because it's supposed to have this like iridescent pink kind of wash to it, and I just feel like it blends away into nothing. So I have other shades that I can use to kind of mimic that, so I don't think it's like a huge loss. All right, let's talk about some more melt. This is Gemini 2, which looks like this. I love this color story. It's got these beautiful kind of grungy pinky reds, and then these lovely olives with this metallic olive green in here. Oh, they are all so gorgeous. And I like the packaging. I like the little accents with this like pink hollow kind of look. Very pretty. And then this is Melt Millennial Pinks, which I picked up on like super clearance. And I like this one as well. Again, you have this kind of like Skeleton Kiss, Rosé Brunch. Like they all kind of look the same. They're just like a waste of a shade, but whatever. The rest of the colors in here are really pretty, and I do like the cool tones that are in here as well. This is the Urban Decay and Robin Eisenberg. Like, I love this packaging. This is like fire packaging. The palette itself, I also think is actually pretty nice. I picked it up for these 4 shades down here, which I'm sure nobody is surprised about because usually neutrals are not my thing. But I do also think that the neutrals in here looked pretty nice. I used this Pulsar shade, I think every time I did a look at this palette, and I did like how it came out. So I will definitely be keeping this one. Urban Decay does not have my all-time favorite formula, but I do, like, I will make it work if there's a color story that I like or packaging that I like. Next one is the Colored Rain Queen of Hearts palette, and it looks like this. It's definitely like a more intense version of like the ABH, oh my god, why can't I think of the name of it? The pink one that everybody was in love with, Modern Renaissance. I feel like this is like a more preferable version of that palette for me. The metallics in here are really buttery. I love this Loyal Ship and Princess. These two shades look so nice together. I definitely will keep this palette, and I like this cool like sleeve, like the packaging of the sleeve. That's why I keep it, because I think this looks way cooler than just a black packaging. This is the Suva Beauty Rose Period palette, and I think this one has a pretty nice palette too. You definitely go from light to deep. You've got some really nice like pops of metallic in here, but I think you've got a good variety of mattes as well. Not the most travel friendly because it is a bit big, but I have taken it on trips before, and I think the looks, you know, are very complimentary, so I'll keep that one. And then Dominique Cosmetics Berries and Cream. I'm pretty sure this is the only Dominique Cosmetics palette I have left at this point, and I like it, but I just don't know if I'm in love with it. Like, her metallic formula is very kind of like okay. I don't know. I think I need to spend some time with these mattes again and decide whether or not they're like necessities or not. So I think I need to spend some more time with the mattes just to figure out if they're like true necessities or not. But if they're not, like, I think I just need to let this one go next time around. This is the Partners in Crime palette by Makeup a Murder. This is one of the earliest videos on my channel. Like, this definitely dates back, so I keep this one for the memories for sure. I am a huge true crime buff. I love the like skull and crossbones and the handcuffs that were in this one and this one. You've got some hearts in here, very cute. I love the blood spatter, the fact that they have like a skeleton and a hand on here. Like, this is all just like a vibe. The metallics in here, like, actually they're holding up pretty well. The last time I tried to swatch them, one of them was feeling really dry. Which one was it? Was it the black? Oh yeah, I think it was the black. But even that is like, I mean, it's still giving me something. So I'm going to hang on to that one, of course. Where's my little... All right, we've got two Huda Beauty palettes. We have this neon one, which has some kind of like funky, cool orange pink type shades in it here. The metallics are why I keep this. Like, those are some cool colors, right? But I'm gonna swatch this one and see if it has similar colors, and if it does, we may get rid of the Huda. And then this is the Wild Chameleon, which I got to complete the Wild collection because I got the Jaguar and then the, what was the green one called? Forget what that one was called. And then I got this one to kind of complete it. And I just, there's definitely a reason why I didn't buy this one first, and I should have just left it at that and not bought it, but I'm like a fool when it comes to Huda palettes. It's pretty. It does swatch quite nicely, so I guess I'll hang on to this one for a while. This BH Cosmetics Weekend Mimosa palette looks like this, and I think there's some kind of like similar shades in here, although I don't have like a true gold. But this kind of champagne shade, let me see. Actually, it's a bit lighter than the ones over here. So I may keep this for now as well. The Mimosa palette though, this is one of my faves. So if you can ever find this one at like TJ Maxx or Ross, Marshalls, anything like that, I would pick this one up because if you like these kind of bright poppy colors, this one will not disappoint you. All right, this is the Alien Cosmetics, now Unearthly Cosmetics Strawberry Shortcake? Strawberry Milkshake palette. Can never keep this name straight. I like this one a lot. This metallic red is really cool, and this fresh shade is like a really beautiful chartreusey type color. The only shade I don't like in here too much is this whip shade. I think it looks kind of sickly, but everything else in here I like, so I will definitely keep it. This X's and O's ColourPop palette. I love the packaging of this palette. I don't care at all about this color story though. So this was actually shades that I pulled out of several palettes and kind of amalgamated together, but I don't think I like this any better. So I think I want to take the colors out of here, but I want to keep the palette because this is like such cool packaging. Then Ace Beauté Scarlet Dusk looks like this, and I think I'm ready to part with this one. I've had it for a while. I don't really turn to it at all. I used to think that I was gonna like kind of circle back to it, but I don't think that I am at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this one go. That's my first declutter of the video, which is not at all surprising because the pink palettes are my friend. This is Nabla Dreamy. Definitely not getting rid of this. I love the kind of softness of this palette. I like the packaging. Everything about this palette I do enjoy, so I'm definitely going to be hanging on to it. Nabla, I don't know where you can get Nabla in the States anymore. I used to be able to get it at Ulta, but I don't know that they actually have it anymore. There's a shadow, but it's broken. Okay, so this is the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette, and I actually edited out, I think these two were originally pressed glitters, and I took them out and put other shades in here because I did not like the fact that there were pressed glitters in here. So I wonder, yeah, I don't know, I could take these shades out of this packaging and put them in the X's and O's palette and then keep this packaging separate. We'll see, but I'm definitely keeping that one as well. This is a great find. If you can find this at TJ Maxx or Marshalls or anything like that, I knew that would happen. Go me. All right. This is a really beautiful palette by Car Beauty. It's got like some poppy bright colors. It's got some really soft colors. The metallics in here are gorgeous. I love that it goes all the way like almost pure white all the way to black. And then you've got kind of these really like poppy vibrant shades as well. This one, I liked all three of the palettes that came out in this collection. So if you see these, I would highly recommend. And I think they were at Marshalls. Yeah, TJ Maxx, $7.99. Highly recommend. I think they were like $30 originally. This is the Strawberry Dream palette from Lunar Beauty. And of course, my Lunar Beauty stuff is not going anywhere. I love the Lunar Beauty palettes. I like the pops of blue that they did in this one. The only shade I don't really use is the shade Horizon, this like super brassy gold shade, because I just don't think it goes with everything else. And I kind of wish these two shades were a little bit more pink leaning than like corally red leaning. But yeah, in general, love it. The New Romantic palette looks like this. I like this one a lot. This shade right here is probably my favorite in the palette, but I do like kind of these bright poppy shades as well. When I did my first look with this palette, I think I actually stuck to basically this lower row and used this really pretty olive. This was right before olives like exploded, so then after that it was like everybody was coming out with olive colored palettes, but I really like this color story. I think it's quite pretty. Urban Decay Naked Cherry. This one, I don't know. I don't use it, but I can't compel myself to get rid of it. There's just something like sentimental about it to me that I'm just like not ready to let it go. So I'll be hanging on to that one. Okay, here's some that I might be able to let go of. This is the Profusion Mauves palette, and clearly I already have about 150 other palettes that have the same color story. This one is not, you know, expensive or hard to find, so if I really regret it, I could get it again. But I don't think I would miss this one out of my collection. And the same with this fuchsia one. It has like this really nice poppy pink to it, but I have other palettes in here that have bright pinks like this, so I don't think I need to keep it just for that particular color, so I'm going to pass that one on as well. This is the Nude on Nude from Revolution, and it looks like this. It's kind of like a pinky mauve color story, very pretty. I love all of the palettes that have that formula and packaging, so definitely keeping. The Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. This would never go anywhere. I'll literally wait until this thing expires before I get rid of it. I just think these three shades are so, so beautiful. I can't let it go. All right, not too many more here yet. So this is the Strawberry Shortcake palette from Glamlight. I think of all the Glamlight palettes, this is probably my least favorite because I feel like there's so many redundant shades. Like these two are the same, these two are not too far off from each other, these two are not too far off from each other, and then you've got like just kind of like similar but very subtly different metallics in here. So I've played around with this one a little bit, but I just wasn't like in love with it. I'm going to keep it because I love my Glamlight formulas, and I'm going to hope that I kind of get re-inspired to use this one again. This is the Midas Cosmetics and Smoky Glow palette, which looks like this. This is definitely a fan fave. I really like this particular palette, and it came around the time of lockdown starting, which was kind of a weird time, but this is like history to me, right? I love this Dofa shade. It's like a dark brown, but it has this almost like red duochrome kind of quality to it, which I really like. You've got some other duochrome shades in here for sure. This Leno shade is really, really pretty. But in general, I really like this one. I don't think Smoky Glow makes as many videos as she used to now that she's gotten divorced, but hopefully she's doing okay. Sweet Shop Cotton Candy from BH. I had to hunt this sucker down too, which I found unused on Mercari and picked it up. I really like these palettes. The formula in these BH Sweet Shop palettes is one of my favorites. If Revolution knew what they were doing, they would take the formula out of this collection and run with it and just make tons of things with this formula. But they probably won't because it's probably, you know, 1/1000th of a penny more expensive to do. So yeah. This is the Morphe and Cherry Coke palette. This one I really like. Number one, I was always a huge Cherry Coke fan, like Coke over Pepsi in my life for sure. And I just like the kind of the tin packaging, the sort of nostalgia vibe of this. I really liked the formula. Actually was pretty decent as well when I used it. And I feel like this kind of reminds me of that Profusion Mauves palette that I just put to the side. So this one can definitely stay in its place. And then the Woman Beauty Coming to America, stop it. These metallics are like, they're so buttery and amazing, like you will just not even believe. Like they're just so smooth and buttery. And this is part of the collection that I won, so I'll definitely be hanging on to this one because it's such a bomb collection. All right, and so I decluttered 3 just like my other videos, but I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There will definitely be more videos coming your way very soon, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.